Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight.
A 21-year-old female faces multiple fraudulent charges before the magistrate's court.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Industrial action is looming in the hotel industry. The hotel union, which received a strike certificate earlier this year, is now threatening action as leaders say negotiations with several properties have not gone well. Jillian Gray reports.
I say to all of our members, you're asking about your back pay, your back pay, your back pay. The changes that have been made. It's time for us to go and get it.
The Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union has ordered its members to begin work to rule. Officials are up in arms over a new policy by the Ocean Club Four Seasons brand to switch employees' pay from weekly to bi-weekly. Hotel Union President Darren Wood said the property proposed the changes in July, and despite the union's fight, the property made the switch in September. With a strike certificate in hand, he says this disregard for the negotiation process is now cause for action.
We've informed our members to go ahead and get their contract of employment and also their job description and work according to their job description. Do not go outside of that because it may form part of what they're expected to do. The next step that we want, because we want to take it slow, but not slow. Work the rule, go slow, and then I could tell you now, and I would repeat, it ain't necessarily going to be in that order. It depends.
Wood said the switch has affected members' bill payment schedule and is against normal procedure, as hotel industrial agreements outline weekly benefits, adding that if this action is allowed to stand, other properties will follow suit. Last week, the union took the hotel property to court, seeking an injunction to stop the change. However, that was unsuccessful due to the absence of a signed industrial agreement. The union president added, hotel officials are using the absence of a contract to take advantage of workers.
They're taking away some of the benefits that they were entitled to, okay, without the discussion. Because they actually say, we don't necessarily have to talk to you. We don't have to talk to you. Well, the members of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union will show the employer who they have to talk to.
Woods also claimed the property is constantly adding to job descriptions without raising pay. He said while property owners may be worried that guests will be affected by a strike, in many cases, guests support workers, as he says they know the struggle of unions around the world. Along with the outstanding hotel industrial agreement, the union has 5 outstanding industrial agreements dating back to 2012. They're currently negotiating with Restaurants Bahamas, Grey Cliff, and 3 other groups.
The attorney who represented Ocean Club is the attorney who represents the association, who also represents Restaurants Bahamas, and he's connected to all of the other properties. So if you have an attorney who says that the union has no voice, except for, in the absence of a contract, except for contract negotiations, and you could stall those negotiations, hello somebody, hello. What do you think will happen?
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jillian Gray.
Amid mounting tension between the Junkanoo community and Culture Minister Lanisha Rolle, Bay Street came alive last night as members of various Junkanoo groups came together for a unity rush. As Junkanoo fans and tourists danced on the sidelines, Junkanooers made it clear they no longer want Rolle to handle the major parades. The JCNP chairman said it's about getting the respect they deserve. It was a rush where spectators, tourists and locals left the sidelines and jumped in. After a tough week and growing tension between Junkanooers and Culture Minister Lanisha Rolle, members from all groups put the competition aside for one night and picked up their instruments in a show of solidarity.
Oh, it just melts my heart to show that every group, Division, A, B, Saxons, Roots, One Family, Genesis, we're all out here together. We're not about the competition, we're about advancing Junkanoo, so I'm really happy tonight.
After expressing little to no confidence in the culture minister's ability to handle Junkanoo, citing the delayed distribution of seed money, plans to restructure the parade management committee, and the decision to allow a group to participate despite missing the deadline, Miller said the rush isn't about role, but the respect Junkanooers deserve.
This is for us to be together. This is what Junkanoo is. This is what being Bahamian. This is about us moving, advancing Junkanoo. This isn't about any particular minister or anything like that. This is about love. One love.
Though Miller expressed that view, other Junkanooers felt otherwise.
We have bread in our hand, but we're taking bread out of our hand by doing this. See, Mama said when something working, leave it working.
I do not feel that the government respects Junkanoo enough. It is our culture, and at this point it seems as though that the culture is going completely down.
I think she needs to just get her Junkanoo knowledge a little more, a little more Junkanoo knowledge, and there just needs to be more dialogue, better dialogue. Communication makes everything so much easier.
Despite their frustration, these Junkanooers made beautiful music together, bringing their fans and visitors Junkanoo in November. The Prime Minister has said a meeting will take place in February after the two major Junkanoo parades to allow both sides to discuss the way forward. Until then, Minnis said Junkanoo will remain the same. However, the JCNP chairman says they are prepared to meet at an earlier date.
We're not waiting until February. The JCNP has a plan now. We're preparing ourselves. So if the Prime Minister or whoever the powers that be call us tomorrow, we're ready to sit down and plan the way forward.
CIBC First Caribbean International Bank and GNB Financial Limited have reached an agreement for the sale of 66% of the bank's Caribbean shares to GNB Financial for $797 million. In a statement sent out today, the company announced that CIBC will remain a significant shareholder, holding on to 24% as the new entity acquires the majority stake. GNB Financial Group Chairman Jamie Gilsinki said in that statement, First Caribbean will remain the strong entity it is today, committed to servicing its clients in the region. I have been impressed by the strength and stability of First Caribbean and excited about its prospects for the future. Well, after years of waiting, the Berry Islands Community Center was officially opened today. Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis telling a room of island residents that opening comes after successive administrations failed to open the Bullocks Harbor building.
I was informed that several contractors were hired over the years, but that when the funds ran out, enthusiasm for the project subsequently waned. The building sat unfinished for many years under several administrations, but the spirit and the dream remained alive.
Minnis says it was after a meeting with Royal Caribbean International CEO Michael Bailey that plans for the center got back on track. Royal Caribbean recently opened its Perfect Day at Coco Key, employing scores of Berry Islanders and providing a much-needed boost to the island's economy. They also helped finish the community center and donated an ambulance to the island. Bailey says the community center will serve multiple purposes, including providing protection during disasters.
What's important about this building is it's being built to withstand hurricane conditions, and we all know, most of us live in South Florida, we're aware of these conditions. It's a wonderful thing to have a building that is capable of withstanding severe storms and negative conditions, and we hope that you'll never have to use this community center for those reasons, but if you do, it's here for you, and we really hope that that never has to happen.
In other news, a 21-year-old female facing multiple fraud charges was arraigned in the magistrate's court today. Giorgio Bain reports.
Officers of the Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes Unit bringing a 21-year-old female before the magistrate's court to face a number of fraudulent charges after being allegedly found in possession with a number of fraudulent checks.
21-year-old Kaylisa Camp of Homestead Street was brought before Deputy Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vaughn Evans to answer to 18 counts of possession of a false document. It is alleged that on April 25, 2019, with intent to defraud, Camp had in her possession 3 Royal Bank of Canada checks in the name of Denise Carey. The checks were allegedly drawn on the account of Cable Bahamas, made payable in the amount of $478 and totaling $1,434. Kemp was also allegedly in possession of 3 fraudulent Royal Bank of Canada checks in the name of Paul Maury, drawn on the account of Cable Bahamas and made payable in the amount of $468, totaling $1,404. Kemp was also in possession of 3 Royal Bank of Canada checks made payable to Jessica Forstdale in the amount of $478 and totaling $1,434. It is also alleged that Kemp had 3 Royal Bank of Canada checks made payable to Bianca King in the amount of $488, totaling $1,464, and 3 checks in the amount of $488 made payable to Michael McKenzie, totaling $1,464. Kemp was not represented by an attorney and entered a not guilty plea to all 18 charges. Kemp elected to have the matter heard in the Magistrates Court and returns to court on the 10th of February 2020. Reporting for R News, I'm Georgia Bain.
An Abaco doctor will be able to care for patients again thanks to the generosity of a funeral home on the storm-ravaged island. Jared Higgs reports.
None of us ever expected, nowhere even in Bahamas, to see this happen.
Dr. George Charity has been caring for patients in Abaco for the past 12 years. Like so many others, Dorian landed a blow to his livelihood and career.
The clinic was completely destroyed.
Charity is the medical director of the Integrated Medical Center in Marsh Harbor. He also doubles as a disaster specialist with the Red Cross. He says you would think that would have prepared him for what he witnessed.
I've traveled internationally and never seen anything like this.
Charity says he's been seeing his patients at their homes both in New Providence and in Abaco. The travel creates an added burden that the doctor feels obligated to meet.
I've had to carry medications every weekend for patients because there are no pharmacy in Abaco right now.
Things are difficult, but as of November 1st, Charity hopes his burden will ease. That's when the doctor will start occupying Evergreen Mortuary's Abaco office.
The natives need more medical care than they do a funeral home.
Evergreen Mortuary proprietor Denali Penmaki is a native of Abaco herself. She says the business will close its operations on that island for 2 years and allow Charity, who has cared for her in the past, to lease the building.
Dr. Charity, he is one that all Abaconians love and respect. He is well known from Crown Haven to Sandy Point and all the connecting keys.
Charity is grateful for the gesture. He says it will help to get the island back on track.
Not only for me, but for my patients. There's some sense of normalcy now, like we're getting back to where we need to go.
He says the new facility is giving his clients the confidence to return, despite extremely limited activity on the island.
I've had patients call me since then that the news has gotten out, and they've said, well, Dr. Charity, I could come back to Abaco now.
Hurricane Dorian pummeled Abaco and its keys as a Category 5 storm. The central bank has pegged Abaco's destruction at $2.5 billion. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jared Higgs.
All right, thanks, Jared. Still to come, the health minister discusses health and safety at shelters, plus medical coders coming together. Stay tuned.